dun, 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 dun. Welcome to episode 22 of Wrecked Bike Rebuild. I am your host, Chase on two wheels. The guy to my lower right is Brian. And this episode will go down in history as the longest episode we have ever recorded on a recording side. It might be 30 minutes for you guys, but it may also be 5 days for us. That was dead serious. If you are interested in how the hell my phone continues to ring and how we fund this series where we blow engines up in the very end of the episode and season, make sure to check out the Patreon page. I'm going to check who's calling me now. Anyway, now that I've answered my phone call. Dead serious though, guys, this is going to be a very long episode. I have done everything I can to try to get this season be able to be extended past 23 episodes, and I have failed and it's not an option. So, what that means is in this episode, we have to put the engine back together, build the bike back up, and wire the handlebars, which is going to be really cool. And I get to tell you about a company called Motivation because they helped us hook up with prices and stuff. And for us, that's not going to be for like 5 days. So it's probably going to be a bit weird. Brian is ready. Maybe you're ready, Brian?
As ready as I'm ever going to be.
Nobody's excited for this episode.
This is all the not exciting stuff that you have to do.
But, Brian, because this is Wreck Bike Rebuild and we showed the real stuff that happens, not the producers calling cut and then like a team of people come in, we show you guys everything. So, get ready for a lot of montage. Hopefully we can find some cool music for you guys. Brian, where do
we start?
I don't even
know.
Who
knows? I think the first thing we need to do is we need to get everything off of our workspace here.
Okay.
Off that we don't need here right now. So all the tools have to get put back away. And then we'll start cleaning each part once at a time and reorganizing as we go.
Okay. Well, that sounds like fun.
Okay, so we got a new stator cover, and before actually looking at how the assembly comes, it comes as just a blank cover. So there's no sight glass in it, there's no fill cap in it, there are no outside plugs in it. This is our old case, I'm just giving you an explanation. Obviously none of the hardware is in it. There's also this little tiny needle bearing in here that does not come in the new cover that we really need. So instead of ordering one, we're going to remove this one and Should I explain how I'm going to remove it, or just show them?
No, you sure should explain it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to, because we don't need this cover anymore and it's junk anyway, we're just going to cut this metal piece here on 2 sides and then knock a piece of metal off, and that'll free our bearing for removal. So, I need a coffee.
Teach me some science, Brian.
Okay, we're going to science up here a little bit.
Motorcycle science with Brian.
Okay. This is our cylinder head as well as the rocker box. And the reason why we refer to it as a rocker box is because here's your rockers, here's the little cover that goes on top of it, and inside of this little box is where your rockers are at.
Okay.
Rocker box. Okay? So, the way that this whole thing works is this is your cam gear.
Okay.
Okay? Your cam gear is driven by your crankshaft through the chain. Okay, so it goes around here, down through the galley, hooks to a gear that turns it with the same speed as the crankshaft.
Okay.
So as your piston goes up and down inside of the cylinder, it's also rotating the camshaft. I'm just gonna hold these like this, pretend my thumb here is the bottom of the valve.
Right.
Okay. So as the engine rotates, this is the end of the camshaft. It's a little hard to see from here. Here's a little better shot of it. Right, so you see how these up and down, right? Understandable. So as this rotates, these high and low spots react on this side of the rocker where this roller is. Okay, so this roller sits on top of the valve.
Right.
And it actually spins with the rocker, so there's no friction, or very little friction.
Right.
It makes for ease of use, higher RPM, longer running motors, all that other good stuff.
Right.
So as this, did it again, get back in there. As this turns, the cam comes up, pushes up on this, pushes down on the rocker, and opens the valves. So as the valves get pushed down, it opens them up on the inside.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it pushes them down. Get this up here, and when it pushes it down, it pushes the valve into the combustion chamber.
Can't push that.
No.
No.
All right, so it pushes the valve open into the combustion chamber, and this is the intake side that we have here.
Right.
Opens it up, and the fresh air and fuel charge comes in through the intake port, past the faces of the valves, and then as you turn the motor, the cam will allow the valves to shut with the spring tension.
Right.
The springs hold the valve shut all the time until the rocker arms act on them. And then it compresses the spring that opens the valve, and then as it closes, the spring force closes the valves behind it.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Is that understandable?
No, it is, yeah.
Okay. So then at that point, these valves open, right? We'll go back here. These valves open, lets fresh air in. Mm-hmm. These valves close. Now, as these are closing, the piston's on its way back down.
Okay.
So as it's on its way back down, it's actually vacuum drawing air and fuel into the cylinder.
Okay.
Just taking the piston and going, whoosh, and it's creating a vacuum. It sucks everything in as you rotate the motor. So now the piston, we'll go back to here, it closes. The motor is still turning, so you can turn here and nothing happens. At this point is when the piston's coming back up and making compression.
Okay.
Right? Gets just before top dead center and the ignition fires. Mm-hmm. The motor continues to turn, and now the exhaust side opens. So right here, exhaust side opens.
Oh.
And when the exhaust opens, it's forcing air out from behind the exhaust valves. And then it goes out through the exhaust port and then out into the head pipe.
So 2 of these pairs are fresh air, 2 of these pairs are exhaust.
One pair is intake.
Oh, one pair. Okay,
is
yeah.
exhaust.
Welcome to day 2 of episode 22. We got stuff from Powder Coat. And that's all I really need to do for, it's not even an intro, it's a continuation. So, yeah, we are missing the frame, by the way, so you're not gonna see the frame, but this beautiful box has Powder Coat stuff. Are you excited to see what's in here, Brian?
It is Christmas today.
Today is,
Christmas
we're
in
finally,
March.
yeah, we're finally back to another Christmas day. It's been a while since we had a Christmas day.
Yeah.
We got really excited towards the middle of the build. Lots of stuff came in and...
Well, we had Christmas with all the tools.
Right.
And then we had Christmas with wheels.
We've had a lot of Christmases.
And then we had like Christmas with like foot pegs and Christmas with headlights.
Yep. We've had many Christmases.
We have. This bike has had a lot of ups, not as many downs as ups.
True, though we're pushing it.
Luke is now showing the downs.
Speaking of the downs that we're not gonna speak of anymore, what kind of black did we get on the? We got one color on everything, and it's
everything is all powder coated the same color, and it's hopefully really, really close to what the engine color is.
Right.
And it's a satin black.
This is probably a good way of showing the black. Oh, let's open up the fender bracket piece because
Waiting for the rest of that.
Huh?
Because
What?
Let's open up the fender bracket because and that was it.
Oh, I stopped talking.
Yes,
because it that was what it should be really nice is what that was. Look at that boy.
Like it was meant to be there.
Yeah. With the machinist doing the welds and stuff, bro, that is so legit. I didn't feel safe using
razor blade.
Yeah, that felt like a terrible idea.
All right, so I think what we really need to do now is we need to lay out all these powder coat parts and inspect them and make sure that we don't have to tap any thread holes or clean out any excess powder coat.
In that case, sounds like we know what to do. Okay, we have cool powder coated parts. So where do we go from here, Brian?
We obviously have lots and lots of stuff to reassemble.
We do.
So I think we could either start with fork legs.
Okay.
Or the brakes, stuff that needs to be assembled.
What do you think is easier, brakes or fork legs? Brakes?
It doesn't matter. It's all has to be done, so it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, brakes will be easier to assemble because there'll be no fluid.
Right.
So they'll be a little bit easier.
Okay. All right, so let's do brakes.
Okay. So you want to grab your tap and die kit?
Sure do.
Because honestly, after I powder coat stuff, I run a tap through everything just in case.
What tools do we need to clean calipers out? Sandpaper?
Looks like we'll need maybe a pick and some compressed air and some contact cleaner and maybe some Scotch-Brite and some sandpaper. Not.
Vodka.
Yes. No, we don't need 11s because the dust seals that came in the kit look right. Actually, you know what? Let's do the 11s anyway because the part number is different and it's me off.
There we
So
go.
11, 9, 7, and 5. 2 of each.
We want it tomorrow.
Luke yelled from the background, I want it tomorrow! So what we're looking at here is we were using some parts microfiche that we found online, and we ordered a fork seal kit, which comes with the oil seal and the dust seal for each fork leg. And after I was trying to put the seal in, I realized that it wasn't going down all the way. So I wound up taking them back apart again and comparing it to the old seal. Not sure if you guys can actually see the difference of how much wider this seal is than this seal. This is the new one that came in the kit. This is the stock one that we pulled out of the machine. So after we pulled this out and realized that our fork seals were not the same as the factory seals, the original stock seals.
This is the seal that it wouldn't go past?
Yeah, it wouldn't get down to that groove. So pretty much what we're doing is we're putting this seal inside of there so it gets past that groove in there. This snap ring slides into that groove and holds everything in place. Well, because the fork seal that we got in our kit is so much wider, if you can't see, is so much wider than the ones that's there, we couldn't get it to go down far enough to get that snap ring in place and hold everything where it's supposed to be. So after we pulled this apart and found out that it was not the right one, we went back to the part numbers and found that the fork seal kit part numbers are different than if you order the fork seal parts themselves individually. So how that makes any sense, I have no idea. This is, part of the trials and tribulations of, putting stuff together, and sometimes what you want you don't get, and what you need you don't have, and right now we've got a whole bunch of that going on at the moment. So what we need we don't have, and what we want we can't get, or we're trying to get. It's going to take some time for more parts to arrive, and it's just making it more and more difficult for us as we go. So we are now stuck again. So
swipe to day 3.
Welcome to day 3 of episode 22. The episode where Brian and I have a lot of things to do and aren't going to talk a lot. Brian, on the last episode, on the last day, excuse me, we were trying to put forks together, and bad things happened.
Bad things happened. We got the bad things solved, and now we can.
And I got a lunch bag from Mountain. That had very important things in it.
It did.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting right here in front of me in these little plastic bags.
Right.
And they're all going to be used to assemble our forks.
Okay.
And then once the forks are assembled, then we can move on to the other giant pile of stuff that we have to reassemble for this machine. And I'm not even speaking of the motor yet.
The good news is, in this garage right now, we have what we believe to be all the items necessary
I sure
to
hope so.
finish the motorcycle. So if we could do we could finish it in the garage right now. We don't have to leave. Hopefully.
I hope we don't. I mean, there is something that we might run into at some point during reassembly, and hopefully it's nothing that's drastic or big. I mean, we've kind of looked at everything over already as we were disassembling, and we really didn't find anything else that really needed to be addressed. So,
Looking into the future, I can't wait to watch this episode and watch our excitement level just fall off a cliff.
it's not so much about excitement as now this is work.
Yeah, well, like
This
energy
is work,
level, because like each episode we can come in and be like, oh man, we're gonna film today. It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah, today's just a work day.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're here just to work today.
Forks. We got what are the new parts called that we ordered? The seals?
We got the correct seals.
Right.
And we also got new bushings. So these are the bushings. Everything's here on the table, but these are the bushings. They rest in this groove in the bottom fork and then around the main diameter of this fork leg, and that's what keeps everything sliding in line together. Because there is a bit of room in between the two halves for oil and such. So those are the parts that keep everything sliding in line.
Well, Brian, there's no better time to do it but now. All right, second precious item. We're done, all right?
Pump it.
All right, I get the pogo stick.
All right, second precious item.
You want to go straight to the motor?
Yep.
Well, first off, tell those beautiful people what happened.
What did happen?
We
We
finished the
lost
forks.
something.
We finished the forks
So-
and then we were moving on.
We assembled the forks, and then we went to assemble the triple trees, and we lost the spacer. So we had to take those parts over to the machinist so he can take the measurements off of them and make us a spacer. So instead of continuing with anything that has to do with the chassis, because we can't finish it, we may as well start working on the motor, because that's going to take a bunch of time. Got all the parts for the motor, so now we can reassemble.
Let's reassemble the motor then. What's a quick summary of like the process of getting this motor put back together?
All right, so we're going to give it a real quick wipe to get all the dust off of it that has made its way onto here, and any bearing surfaces, just a real quick little bit of contact cleaner, and then clean all the surfaces so they're clean and dry.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and actually we need to start with the oil pump. We put the oil pump back there, and it goes in the case first.
Okay.
Once the oil pump is done, then we can get the case half ready for sealant. Mm-hmm. And then we can bring the other half over, lay it out, make sure it's clean, lay the sealant on, and then put the halves together and bolt everything together.
Okay, let's go. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for day 3 of episode 22. Next time we will probably finish the engine up. We'll finish the engine up and proceed towards our roller and finished motorcycle. So, whoosh to day 4. We ended last episode without tools that you brought. We have that. We also have an update from the machinist. We'll talk about that when we get to that point. These are the professionals I work with.
Come on, man. If you can't have a little bit of enjoyment in your work, it's not worth doing.
You're absolutely correct. We're gonna have so much enjoyment. This is my happy face. All right. So how do we use the dental tool to hold the clutch?
Dental tool.
Earlier, Luke had his mouth open.
The mouth jammer.
Right, with a mouth jammer.
All right, so we're going to start with 10 millimeter, and we're going to take this stuff off that we loosely just threw in there so it wasn't flopping around.
These boys?
Yep, 10 mil.
Okay.
And the little whizzy, just the small impact gun. Yeah, so if you try and tighten this nut, the hub just spins. So you need to hold this center hub in place so you can tighten down that nut. Now that it's tightened down, we can stake it. So if you can get in here and see this, there's just a little cutout, 2 places on this nut, and they are just a safety. So after you've torqued the nut down, you kind of and it bends that tip in and it puts pressure on the outside ring of the nut so it won't back off accidentally. So this is a oil-assisted spring cam chain tensioner. Okay, so if you see right there that little hole, so that hole is an oil passage. And when you put the tensioners in, they go into this body right here. And if you could actually see in there, there's a channel in this body. See that little channel right there? Oil comes up that channel, squeezes into this little hole and adds a little bit of oil pressure to the back of this. Okay, so right now I have this set in the installation position. I'm going to undo that so you could see what that means. So you could literally just squeeze this. Whoa. Okay, so when it's inside the motor, it's this one, hopefully somewhere around like there. And that will actually give you enough leeway to take up any more chain slack as it's created from the use of the engine. So what we want to do, we want to compress this as far as we can. And okay, so you squeeze these 2 springs right here. If you can see these little 2 pieces of wire, you squeeze those so you can compress it. And then once you get it down compressed all the way, this spring on this side is a lock. Okay. So it'll stay. Now when you put it inside the motor, this is going to rest up against the black plastic cam chain guide. And then if you turn the motor backwards, it puts pressure on the guide and pushes the center of this in and releases that lock, and then the spring tension comes out, zoop, and takes up all the chain slack. So you absolutely have to have this compressed before you put it in. If it's out here, and you put it in, and you could actually get the bolts started in it, and you start cranking them bolts down, this thing this long is not going to push itself back in once it's inside the motor. So you're going to push and push and push until you snap the cam chain, or snap the chain guide, or whatever. Something's going to break if you don't compress this and try and force it in. So we're going to take off this gasket and make sure there's no gasket material left behind. And then we're going to put a fresh gasket on here and install our tensioners.
Engine almost complete. We just have to, the clutch thing we're not doing.
You have to inspect the intake valves and set them to spec. Put the rocker box covers
with the right size.
Put the rocker box covers back on. Then we can put the intake manifold and throttle body back in place. And then the engine will be complete to go back in the frame once we get the frame set.
So what you guys were doing yesterday was loosening the outside bolt and then turning the inside square.
So you would crack loose the lock nut, and then the center square piece is the adjuster.
Right.
And then you would either turn it in or out depending on where you needed your clearance.
Okay.
And then hold it steady while you tighten the lock nut and recheck your clearances to make sure you didn't mess it up when you turn the lock nut.
So the intakes are...
The intakes are good. They are. So we actually could have put the rocker box covers or valve covers on yesterday. Better safe than sorry. I agree. Now we have to do the correct bolts in the holes.
Are you looking for torque specs?
Here it is. They're different length bolts go in different holes, and we kind of just pulled them out. So I'm pretty sure these short ones are the ones that go inside.
Don't drop those.
Well, they ain't going too far.
Brian, let me just...
Bend your knees.
You want to arch your back as much as you can.
You sure you want to try that?
All right, you guys have typed it up. I'm ready.
All right, man. Just be careful.
All
Don't hurt yourself. You got a bad back and shit.
It's true, but you know what, Brian? You don't get stronger by getting people to do stuff. All right, 3, 2.
Head up. There it is. Okay. We assumed that there were bearings in these slots, and they didn't powder coat them inside of here. So it's just raw aluminum. And then they did powder coat in here where the bearing actually goes. So we got to scrape the powder coat out of this side and then paint this because that's visible. And if it's not, it's steel, so it's going to rust. We got those holes painted that accidentally did not get powder coated.
Right, we got coat 1 drying, so while that dries...
We are going to assemble the triple clamps.
Oh, we get to use the thing that our machinist made us. Yeah, we haven't shown those off yet, have we?
Nope, we'll get
Cool.
there.
All right, I'm gonna get the... You need both?
Yeah, upper and lower.
Okay.
So now we get to assemble our lower triple clamp. So I don't know if you could see this bearing here, but this little piece in the middle that's sticking up is actually a spacer that our machinist made for us. So the reason why we had the machinist make it is because there was one on here and we kind of lost it.
Right.
So
In the giant... that this build has been.
Right. So this is a dust seal, goes on the bottom. This spacer, this is the bottom of the spacer. It's almost like a seat, looks like a top hat without the top on it.
Right.
All right, so then this is going to slide over this post and all the way down to the base. But we need to put our dust seal on first.
We're back from the machinist.
Woo!
Because it was the Judd effect. Is that what we called it the other day?
That's what you said something about. I don't know if that's what we actually called it.
Anyway, so our bearings are now pressed onto our triple tree.
Single bearing.
Single bearing onto the triple tree. We would not have been able to do it again without
Without a press.
our machinist friend and his
And
press.
yes, he was very, very helpful and has been instrumental to some of the challenges that we've had on this build.
Thank God. Okay, now back to rolling chassis mode. This one doesn't need anything done to it, right? This goes on the top, this goes into it, and then it screws in.
Well, actually, this goes in the bottom,
right.
and then this screws on the top of the frame, and then that slides over that.
Okay, are we ready for frame now?
We are.
Fuck yeah. Like a man that feels good about the job he's done.
This thing's going to be so sick when it's fully assembled.
Dude, we're a week out from that day. I'm pretty hyped. This whole sitch, I'm pretty hyped about.
Brian, this might be the most creative way we've started an episode yet.
Well, we don't typically have the opportunity to do something like this. So.
Yeah, we don't get to frame ourselves inside of a frame.
Yeah.
Welcome to day 6 of episode 22.
And the madness continues.
Madness does continue, but today's the last day. We are focused on today on getting the engine back inside of our roller that we got created yesterday.
There's not a whole lot of
some
not a
music
whole lot
up
of not a whole lot of parts to this.
You hear that music, Brian? You hear that background music that's playing for them? No, don't play our music. God, we won't be able to monetize. Jesus. Well, you guys enjoy the music. We'll enjoy putting a bike together and yeah, that's no big deal. We're gonna do this damn thing out of frame. I mean, I was never in the frame, but like I'm camera frame.
So guys, at long last, today, right now is the end of episode 22. If you are still watching this video, I know it's about an hour long or more, so thank you for getting to this point in the video. Before we get out of here, I do want to let you guys know that there's one more episode. We are going to be doing some really cool stuff on, God, one more episode to get that done. On the last episode, we're going to be doing some really cool stuff, but that will be the last chance you have to win this motorcycle. So, if you've been on the fence about joining the Patreon page, now is your time to do it. We got some really awesome Moto Gadget and motivation stuff to talk about next episode. We appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure to hit the like button if you have watched this much of the video. And subscribe to the channel if you want to watch how this bike somehow gets finished in one episode of Wreck Bike Rebuild.
Well, come on, man. This last episode was a teardown, engine teardown, fork teardown, reassembly, filled with fluids, all new seals, all new gaskets, you know, all
just
new
keep
O-rings,
going, and the outro crew will just get to watch all
all new, you know, piston rings and,
Yeah.
and head gasket and base gasket and left and right engine cover gaskets and bearings and, you know, and that was all in one episode.
One episode for you guys, 7 days for us. So
the next one is going to be another marathon episode where it's, you know, we get the electrical that we have square to make sure everything is there and where we need it to be before we jump into all the new stuff. So if we look at it this way, we've got some accessories to put on. You know, left and right foot pegs, shift and brake pedals, kickstand, handlebars, levers,
my soul is dying every time you say something.
and all the switch gear.
And you'll see that next time on Wrecked Bike Rebuild. That was all my energy, outro crew. That was it.
Nothing left.
That was zero.
Now you just got to fall down and go to sleep.
Yeah, my car is now coasting, and I'm really hoping I'm on a hill. Is this still recording? That's impressive.
It's a long 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah. Outro crew, let us know what you think about the next to last episode of the bike look or something. We love you guys. We're gonna go now.